Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for those two legends of sport. It's Beefy and the Bull.
Hello everyone, this is Beefy and the Bull. I remember playing in the 72 grand final.
Oh, 72! Doesn't go down like a sack of spuds this week.
None of this soft stuff.
Oh, Beefy! Oh, you've come out all guns blazing, mate. Beefy and the Bull, Beefy and the Bull, Beefy and the Bull.
Yes, here we are.
Beefy and the Bull.
Here we are. COVID and all, we're here.
Oh, mate, nothing's going to stop us. You know, you can put anything in front of us, it wouldn't stop us. Because as we always say, sport waits for nobody. How are you, Beefy?
Mate, yeah, I'm fine. Hey,
What about that Origin, hey?
Oh, state of origin. 2-0 in the origin.
Yeah, Beefy, the New South Wales Blues certainly are the dominant team by a mile this year and probably should be the Kangaroo side. Swap them over.
Yeah,
Direct swap.
Yeah, can you imagine having the Blues as a regular NRL side? Holy moly.
Oh, yeah, but you would want to have a big, very big checkbook.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting again to see the protected species milk at Munster once again get away with another grubby play after dropping his news in Tedesco.
Yes, it really is getting to be a bit of a joke that grubby milk at Munster keeps getting away with his now regular dirty plays. And if there was any doubt that he's a protective species, it certainly has been made very clear after escaping from any punishment whatsoever after this latest grubby play.
Yeah, it's not the 70s anymore.
No.
Jeez.
No.
Who does he think he is?
I don't know. And Tanker Tomic has flopped out of Wimbledon with the world number 125 Morales thumping Tomic in straight sets.
At one time, Tanker was ranked in the top 20. Now he is 224. Maybe too much time making his videos and not enough time training.
Yes, so true. Well, and the fact that he does not have the right mindset, and to be honest, why he's continually selected to represent Australia is a little bit bewildering. If Tennis Australia is saying that Tanker is the best we've got, and no one else deserves to play, well then maybe Tennis Australia should have a good look at their coaching and development programs.
Yeah, absolutely. He was a flop at Wimbledon and he's a flop at his videos. An absolute joke.
Yes.
And this week we are back with a full round of NRL. So what's your tips for round 16 there, Beefy?
Well, last night we saw the Roosters, I was going to say play against the Storm, but they didn't actually play. They just basically turned up and stood there and watched the Storm score tries around them. 46-0. I don't know what was going on with the Roosters. And once again, this weird thing we see of head-high tackles and headshots. Last night, Welch hit Walker in the head with a tackle. Not sent off, not nothing. The referee says nothing in it. Go back a couple of weeks ago, and Welch could have been sent off. But this week, oh no, it's totally different now. I wonder if it's got something to do with the protective species thing of the Storm. Anyway, moving on. Tonight, the Warriors and Dragons. Oh, it's going to be a weird game, but I'll go the Warriors. Panthers, Eels. Panthers should do that, I would think. Saturday, Bulldogs and the not-so-manly Sea Eagles. Bulldogs have 3 players out because of COVID quarantine breaches. Well, that should make their coach so happy. Raiders and Titans. Oh, come on, Titans, get up there. I think it's going to be a hard game. Knights and Cowboys. Another game that's just weird. Cowboys are up and down, but let's go for the Cowboys for the sake of it. Sunday, Broncos and Sharks. A tough training session for the Broncos has gone to complete poop with 4 of their players being injured and are out of the game. And I know this will come as a shock to, no one really. Sharks player Josh Dugan is in trouble again with a COVID breach, and it looks like it's going to cost him $25,000. Who would have thought Josh Dugan would be in trouble? What a shock. Western Rabbits, well, much to the horror of the Tigers, the Bunnies, all their players from Origin are backing up. So I'm sure the Tigers will be thrilled to know they're playing against a full-up, hardened, Rabbits side. Oh, dear, it's going to be tough for them.
Yeah.
That's my NRL tips. Of course, the Bunnies for that one. What's the AFL happening this week?
Well, I tell you what, Beefy, call kicked off last night with the Gold Coast Suns beating Richmond, and Richmond are all over the place.
It's a
mental thing, I think, Beef. It's a mental thing. I mean, they can't catch anymore, they can't kick anymore, they don't know what to do. These players are top professionals, they know how to do all those things. It's a mental thing,
Especially after last year, you would think they were going to
absolutely. There's been a few changes off field, obviously, with the coach, and he no longer being with Mrs. Hardwick, who was a big part of that whole culture there in Richmond. So
she used to wash all the boys' jumpers after the game, and peel all the oranges for them.
She looked after everyone,
all that sort of stuff.
But now she's not there, so maybe bring back Mrs. Hardwick. Moving on to tonight's games, the Cats versus the Bombers, and that's down at the Cattery. I'll take the Cats on that one Saturday. You're looking at Melbourne versus the Giants at the MCG. You'd have to pick Melbourne there in fine form at the moment. Adelaide versus Lions. Down at Adelaide, ladies and gentlemen, but Brisbane in irresistible form. The Dockers on Saturday versus Carlton. No, I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, that'll be an interesting one, but you'd have to take the Dockers on that one. Actually, no, I'll take Carlton. Hawks versus Port Adelaide. Hawks coming off a nice little win last week down at Marvel Stadium. I'm going to go the Hawks, even though Port Adelaide are obviously the favourites to win there. Moving on to Sunday, the Swatties versus the Eagles, and that's down at the Cattery as well. Both travelling, obviously, with COVID taking hold. Sydney teams are down in Melbourne at the moment, as well as the Eagles are all based in Melbourne. Ironic, Beef, that last year everyone was up here and over in the West, and now all those people are down in Melbourne. Melbourne's the safest place to be. It's the safest place to be. Anyway, we're going to go the Swannies there to win that one. Collingwood versus St Kilda. MCG, a big game. I'm going to go the Pies on that one. And rounding it off on Sunday, it's the Western Bulldogs versus North Melbourne. You cannot go past the Western Bulldogs. And that is my AFL tips there.
Nice, very good. And now at least 26 riders were injured on day one of the Tour de France. Many were injured in a fall by a person whose IQ has been compared to that of a toilet brush, decided to jump in front of the riders so she could get her large sign saying hello to my grandparents on TV.
Why would you have to say hello to your grandparents?
Not
for?
my grandparents, her grandparents.
Oh, you said my grandparents, and I thought you meant like our grandparents. And I thought they have been, they're still alive. I mean, grandma's, 180. Anyway, let's not go. She doesn't like mentioning her age.
No, she's very...
So what happened? She just jumped in front.
Well, she stuck up this sign, something about her grandparents, go grandpa, go grandma, whatever. And the sign hit a rider, which caused a massive domino effect, and many of the riders end up suffering quite serious injuries. But what's a bit confusing, the sign's made of cardboard. Like, the way these blokes fell over was like it was made of stainless steel. But anyway...
I'm sure her grandparents are now requesting DNA tests to check if she's actually related to them. How embarrassing.
True. Well, she went into hiding, and I've just heard that they have tracked her down, but she did go and try and hide. They're going to sue her for the damages.
One thing I don't fully understand is that when a GP... motorbike riders come off at the ludicrous speeds, roll, flip and dive all over the place. They just get up and run over and try and get their mangled bike back onto the race. But these push bike riders have a fall at relatively slow speed, then lay there screaming like they've had a limb removed. I don't get it, Beefy. I don't get it.
A simple explanation for that, Bull, is that most of those push bike riders are also soccer players.
Well, that makes sense.
Yes. And that's our sports roundup for this week. And we'll be back next week. And remember, everyone,
sport waits for nobody. I'm Beefy.
Yes.
Nearly got ya. I'm the Bull.
101.3 FM, Memphis Mayhem Radio.